Okay, well, certainly we're disappointed with the outcome on Saturday. I thought we got off to a good start, which we hadn't done in the last game. And, we just had a lot of opportunities, and you have to give North Carolina credit. They made plays, and we didn't at some critical junctures. And right now, our margin for error is razor thin. So we have to do things. It's disappointing that special teams was a drag again. We worked awfully hard on that. And, there were several plays in the game that it could affect the outcome like all games. Now moving ahead, it doesn't get any easier. I get to go play the number 6 ranked team on the road again. So, what we've got to do is focus on ourselves. It's a tough place to play. It's extremely loud. They're very, very good defensively. I think before the fourth quarter collapse against Notre Dame where they piled up some yards, they were in the top 10 in total defense. They may have dropped out of the top 10, but they're, I'm sure, in the top 25 somewhere. And offensively, they have a lot of skill, a lot of playmakers, tremendous quarterbacks. So they're a very complete team.
In terms of injuries, Chris Milton missed some time. Do you think is he going to be able to practice today? Do you have expectation for him?
We're hopeful that we'll get most of the guys who got hurt in the game back. We got, once Adam got ejected, you had the 2 starting defensive tackles out. We lost Chris midpoint. I think at one time we probably had as many as 8 or 9 starters out on offense and defense. So it's just been one of those years. I mean, and it's piled up at positions. It's just like at A-back. I mean, I looked out there and they played pretty good. We got production out of them, but we played a large part of the game with Austin and Ike, who both came here as walk-ons. And to their credit, they were playing well, but you're not ripping off too many 50 and 60-yard plays.
A week ago, you were telling us that the confidence of 18-year-olds, they still have it because they're 18.
Mm-hmm.
And when watching the Duke game film, they realized then there was just a play here or a play there that was the difference. Do they feel that way after looking at this?
Well, we'll see. They'll look at it today. I don't have any reason to believe they won't. I mean, I can name 25 plays. I mean, you can do that in every game when you look. I mean, the second touchdown, well, really the first touchdown they score, they fumble the ball and it rolls to their receiver. Stood up, we get it. Second time we got a guy that misses the quarterback unblocked on the scoring play. On offense, we don't catch the ball right. We're behind them in the first half of the last series, and we throw it too far. We don't catch it. We get stopped on the goal line. We fumble the ball. I mean, we drop an interception. It could be. I mean, there's a zillion plays in that game that could have gone. And that's the thing about football. It's not easy to win unless you're just physically far superior to other teams. It's a tough game. And, in my time here, I don't know that we've ever been physically superior to the other teams in the league. Now, we've got our share of good players, but it's not like, when I was at, say, for instance, at Georgia Southern to compare, when we were in the Southern Conference, there was probably 2 or 3 teams that could beat us. I mean, you could go out with your B game and you could win the rest, or C game. That's not the way it is here. They're close, hard-fought games, and it's hard to win. And you can't, when you shoot yourself, and most teams are that way, not just us. I mean, probably 90% of the teams in the country are that way, So it's like when there's very little margin for error, you have to get some breaks. And right now, we're not getting any. They're going the other way.
What was your evaluation about the offensive line?
I think we did okay. We played better. I think we got better on offense. Still things we can work on. Disappointed on the short yardage plays. It's just disappointing. And that's not all on them. But, we, for the second game in a row, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, I think we missed 2 3rd and 1s, a 3rd and 2, and something else. And when you do what we do, that's not the case. And, people can talk about how they lined up or what all they want. I'm watching this morning, I'm watching the Clemson game all the way back to 13. Clemson's lined up exactly the way North Carolina is on the goal line. We run exactly the same play and walk in. It's and Clemson's got good people. So it's just that part of it. Now, it's not all them. It's our execution. And, again, we missed a call. We had a couple of missed assignments. And that's why I say there's no margin for error. If you have a missed assignment and the guy breaks the tackle, nobody knows. Or if somebody knocks their guy back so far that you get in, nobody realizes that they turn the other guy loose. But when there's not much margin for error, it comes into play.
Clemson's defense, you touched on it a little bit earlier. Was Shaq Lawson their defensive end? I think he leads the ACC in tackles for loss. What has he been able to do this year? Is he one of those physical guys?
Yeah, he's just he's a good player. He's big, strong, fast, hard to block, and he's so versatile. I mean, they drop him in coverage in a bunch of their zone blitzes and match him up man-to-man with backs out of the backfield. He's a good player. He's a next-level guy. They've got a bunch of next-level guys. They had 7 last year that are actively playing the NFL off that defense, and they've probably got that many or more this year. They've got some nice players.
We've talked a bunch about the A-backs before, but I think it's probably – the word. It's easy to think like, oh, they don't get the ball a ton, and so maybe they don't have the biggest role. They're small. But can you kind of describe the level of importance that they have in making the offense work?
Yeah, they're like everybody. I mean, it's like every position's important. No matter what offense you run, the quarterback is going to be the focal point, and he's going to get all the attention one way or the other. But, there's not a position out there that's not important. I mean, those guys, if you're hitting big plays, they're knocking guys down on the perimeter, and they're again, I was watching the 13 film this morning, and Orwin Smith and Robbie Goddard catching that pitch and going 40 and 50 yards a pop, against Clemson, who has good players. And they blocked well for each other. Now, we sealed the stuff inside, but, they were seniors, more experienced, older guys, and they're both fast and good players. I think these guys are going to get there. It's just, you're asking them to transition straight from high school to big boy football, and there's going to be some growing pains along the way. If it wasn't, that you just play with all freshmen.
I imagine the first 16 minutes of the game was about as well as you could draw it up in terms of you guys sat on the ball and you shut them down offensively.
It worked out good. We got them stopped for – we punted one time in the game, okay? We lost it on downs on the goal line and on about the 40-yard line, 45-yard line, and we had a fumble. They had no turnovers. They punted the first 2 possessions, and then they punted one more time in the game. I think they had the ball 9 times if you take out the kneel downs or the whatever. So, you'd like to control the clock, but you want to score. What I was trying to do was score. I didn't care that when we pitched it we got 6 yards. I'd have liked to have got 60, and we'd have scored a lot faster and there'd have been more possessions. But I didn't care that it worked out that way. But I think that what you have to look at when you break stuff down is you have to look at the efficiency of what you're doing. I mean, it's a team game and you play. They're going to get the ball first to start the second half. So if we take a knee or just try to run the clock out at the end of the first half, how many times did we have the ball? That would have meant we had 3 possessions in the half. So, my nature is if there was 20 seconds to left in the half, we might try to run the thing out. With a minute and 29 seconds and 3 timeouts, I'm going to score if I can, because if we hit the first play, if the kid don't score and they run him down, we're on their side of the field with 3 timeouts and a minute to go. We can do about what we want. Now, the second play, I ran the ball to see if we could get a first down to whatever. We didn't execute it very good. So 3rd and 14, I wasn't going to hand it off and let them take time out and get the ball back. I was going to try to make a first down.
second out, look, Justin, he bounced it out. Was he not blocked? Was it not blocked right?
It was
or-
blocked pretty good on film.
Coach, with all the young guys, you mentioned going to Notre Dame, maybe had some big eyes. Does that help you at all going into Clemson, or is that overhyped as a storyline?
I think it'll help the guys who played at Notre Dame. But unfortunately, a lot of them aren't playing now. So, you know, everybody's different. That's a hard place to play. Clemson's tough. It's one of the toughest. You know, it's hard to hear. Last time we were there, we had a slew of motion penalties, and it's just their fans do a great job. You know, our fans did a good job on Saturday trying to make it loud. It's part of home field advantage.